Welcome to the Draftsofus podcast, the show where we stop pretending we have it all figured out. I'm Sharon, and I'm joined by my best friend, Joyce.
We're currently in the middle of our 20s, that weird decade where some of our friends are getting promotions, some are getting married, and we're just trying to figure out if this AI tool is going to take over our jobs or just write our emails.
Every week, we're unpacking the awkward, the messy, and the did that really just happen moments of growing up. Let's get into it.
Imagine becoming the owner of an insurance agency at just 23 years old. While navigating your 20s, being the oldest of 4 siblings, and building your future as a DACA recipient and daughter of immigrants.
Today's guest turned uncertainty into entrepreneurship and built a successful agency before most people even knew what they wanted to do in their lives. Please welcome Claudia Velazquez.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Welcome. How do you feel being the first guest in our pod?
It is an honor to be able to be here with you guys, and it is an honor that you guys are so interested in me.
We really just think that your story is really cool, and I think people need to hear and learn from you, because a lot of people are in a place where, they want to become an entrepreneur, but they don't really know how. Or they don't really know what it truly takes. It's really easy to be like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, but they don't know the hard work that goes into it. So we really want to just kind of dive into that today, and also just kind of get to know your upbringing.
You should ask her some warm-up questions or something.
How does it feel like being the oldest of 4?
It's a lot of responsibility. But I feel like it goes with my personality, too.
Are you a control freak?
Yes. I actually didn't know I was a perfectionist until I started going to therapy. That's what part of it.
Was that tiring? Does that get tiring?
Yeah, so it actually gets, overwhelming. And I guess that's why I thought I wasn't a perfectionist, because, I consider myself a messy person, right? But I guess that I'm messy because unless I could deep clean my house and do it 100% all the way,
you're relating
to me to clean it.
Yes.
So
crazy.
So that's why I didn't think I was a perfectionist, because I'm okay in the mess because I know I can't do it right now 100% with all the way that I want to do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was considered perfectionist. Yeah. Wow.
That's really deep. That's really deep.
That's crazy, bro. Joyce is realizing she has that same thing, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of tasks that I want to do, but I want to do it to the best of my ability, so then I don't do it. Because
so you procrastinate.
You just procrastinate.
Yeah.
But it's in the back of your head.
It's always there,
Mm-hmm.
and then until you get it done, it's just there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that's what I'm learning right now, that, to work in the gray, to not let my house get too messy. It's okay to just tidy it up.
Is it your biggest struggle, with the cleaning, or what is it when it comes to your business?
To my business, the same thing. I have to get a task done. I have to do it, all the way fully. I have to have time to sit down and get it done all the way through. Because if I only get it partially done, then it's just sitting in my head. Versus if I just don't even start it, I don't even think about it.
Yeah. That's crazy. Damn, huh? What about when you were starting your business? Because there's so much to do to start a business, but it's how did you organize that in your head without getting overwhelmed?
Well, I had a business partner, so I had a mentor. My business partner was basically my boss at the time. Before that, so he kind of already had a checklist for us of things that we needed to do to get the business started. Mm-hmm. And he's just kind of he doesn't sit on things, so he just kind of got it done whether I was ready or not. So I remember him being hey, I already have the locations picked out, and I was oh, I just put in my 2 weeks notice at my job that I'm not gonna be working there anymore. Mm-hmm. And so and then when he told me hey, we're ready to go, I had already planned a vacation to San Francisco. So I was like, I'm about to leave to San Francisco next week. He's like, that's okay. When you come back, I'll get everything started, you know? So like, he was already like moving things along. And so then by the time I got back, like I was just like pretty much playing catch up. And when he was like setting up the LLC and like all that, it felt like I wasn't doing anything because like I didn't know how to do it, versus he had already opened like a couple of businesses. So like to him it like came like almost natural. Like he already knew like how to get like the business insurance, how to negotiate like the location that we were gonna do, and he was just kind of like looking into my input because I was obviously the one that was gonna be actually there and like working and like doing the thing. So that was kind of how it went. But then after like it was all set up and like we were open for business, like it was 100% on me, right? So I had put aside this money that I was supposed to go for college, and I was like, if this doesn't work out, like this is it. Like this is like my life savings at 23 years old, but this is my life savings. It has to work. So I just remember taking it day by day and just like doing what I was supposed to go, like going to the car dealerships and marketing and like every single policy that I got, making sure that I closed it. You know, like every single little like call that I got, I had to do it like 100% right. Like there was like no room for error, because if I messed up even a little bit, that was enough for them to not call me again. And at the same time, I felt the pressure of the fact that I was a 23-year-old business owner. You know, so people look at you and they assume like, oh, like
She doesn't know anything.
she's a kid, like she doesn't know anything, like, you know. So I had that pressure that if I didn't do it like 100% to the best of my ability, they were gonna stop calling. And it was crazy because before I became a business owner, like I knew I was really good at what I did. And once I became a business owner, it was like, I'm not good enough, which was like weird. Because like at that point, like everything's like all the pressure is 100% on you. But at the same time, you get a lot more freedom, you know, to make mistakes, because then you're the one that gets to fix them. So it's like, this is manageable. Like no one's gonna get me in trouble. Like I get to like put up with the consequences. So like, bring it on type thing.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What was your high school experience like growing up as the oldest daughter in an immigrant household? Did you ever feel lost or pressured during that time?
Personally, I didn't feel lost or pressured. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm the oldest. So like naturally, from the moment I was born, like I just had to figure it out. You know, like I've always just had to figure it out. And, you know, when we lived in Mexico, like my parents, you know, they were able to take us to a restaurant and order the food for us, you know, regular stuff that parents do for their kids. Versus when we moved to the States at 7 years old, now we're going to McDonald's and I'm having to order, everybody's order is on me, you know? So I think that just kind of came with the package of being, you know, an immigrant. At 7 years old, you just automatically had to like start figuring it out. So once high school hit, I didn't really see a gap, I guess you could say, between that, and I didn't see how privileged other people were. That their parents were like, hey, you got to take, you know, the AP test and the AP classes. You got to do this, you got to do that. Like, I just kind of like figured it out as I went, and I didn't understand that that's not how everybody was, because that was the norm for me my whole life. So I guess in a way, I was privileged enough to have that skill set that I just had to figure it out. And no matter what, it has to work out because people depend on me. And I feel like from a very young age, my mom was always like, we depend on you, you know, like your siblings depend on you. You have to set the example. Like, my mom used to tell me, like, if you mess up, your siblings are going to mess up. And that's like that's a whole lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like that. I remember one time she like painted a picture. She was like, imagine you're like climbing up a ladder and your siblings are right behind you, and if you fall, everybody falls down the ladder. And I was just like, dang, that's crazy. Yeah.
How old were you?
How old was I when that happened? I think I was like 14 years old. I was 14 years old and my
Gosh, like that's intense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's true what they say. Like even though you grew up with the same parents, you have each sibling experienced a different side.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I feel like I never. I mean, my mom did put a lot of pressure on Pamela, but I feel like I never got that type of pressure.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because like you never had to figure it out. You know, like I already had it figured out. So it was like, okay, like this is exactly what you need to do because I already figured it out on my own.
Yeah. But when you talk about that pressure, like we were talking a little bit before about like the business and being a perfectionist, do you think it has to like anything to do with that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like I feel like my mom has always put pressure on us. I never saw it as pressure though. Like I just went into it like very naively, very like, you know, like my mom just wants the best for me and I have to perform. And I feel like when you come to the United States, just the fact that you're stepping into the United States is a privilege and you're always very aware of it. As soon as you get here, you know, like it's a privilege. And then like your parents talk about, you know, you're aware of all the sacrifices your parents had to do to get you here.
Yeah.
So you just have to take advantage of it. And if you don't, it's like all their, you know, efforts went to waste. Yeah. So yeah, it was just kind of like, I looked at it more like of a privilege. Like I get to be here. I get to make these decisions and I get to make these sacrifices. And that's just how I've always looked at it.
Yeah. No, that's wild. Like I can relate a little bit because like my mom, she moved here and like I was born here, but she came from a different country, right? And she never like put the pressure on me, but I was very aware of the pressure surrounding me. Like, you know, from a young age, cleaning houses with your mom, like all these little things. And it's like, you don't want to go. Let's say you don't want to go one day. No, it's like, you have to come with me. Like you have to. And it's,
oh my gosh,
like that
cleaning houses. Yeah.
That's a whole thing. Like that's a responsibility at a young age that so many people are privileged not to have.
Exactly.
I feel like we matured at a young age. Like we didn't get to enjoy our childhood as much. Like in a sense where we always had to be aware of like, there's no money. Like, you know, you can't just
I don't know.
Buy your toys or you can't just do this or that or like.
See, again, like I don't look at it that way. Because my parents always did a great job at making sure that we enjoyed our childhood.
Yeah.
You know, like when we were kids, again, these are the sacrifices that I'm talking about. My dad would come home from working 2 shifts and he would take us to the park at like 10 p.m. at night. I'm pretty sure we weren't even like allowed at the park because like the park curfew is like 10 p.m. And my dad would take us to the park riding our bikes and like would play with us and like he would make time for that. And same with my mom. Like my dad made the sacrifice to work 2 jobs so that my mom could be a stay-at-home mom. And you know, like when we would get home, we would have a snack. I remember like we were privileged enough to like have a fridge full of snacks. I would get home, turn on my favorite TV show, to get a snack. I would get like a cheese stick and a Gatorade, wait for dinner to be ready. Dinner would be ready and my dad in his 30-minute break would drive all the way home and sit down and have dinner with us. Like I don't know if you remember that, but that's like
I do kind of
a very clear image in my head, you know? And again, to me, this was the norm growing up. Like this was normal. And I didn't understand until I was like a full grown adult that not everybody got the experience of having dinner with their family and their siblings. But my parents always made it a goal to make that happen. Yeah. So to me, like, I think I'm privileged because I grew up in a healthy household where my parents were not just married, they were in love. And they always just made it happen for us. So to me, it was like, it wasn't even like a sacrifice for me. It was just me repaying their efforts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was like, there's no other option. Like failure is just really not an option because my parents made it happen. So it was just like, I had it like 10 times easier than they did, you know, like I had the privilege of going to school here, knowing the language, making connections here. So it was like, if they could make it not speaking any English, not having any connections, not being privileged enough to go to school here, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
You know, like, why wouldn't I in this country that's like literally full of opportunities?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And do you think like that realization came when you were younger, or it came more like when you're like older now? Or have you always had that realization?
Which one?
Like the thought of like, if they can do it, so can I, rather than like, because I think like sometimes we tend to think like, at least for me, that like, I don't think so much of that. Like, I feel like, yeah, like she did it, but at the same time, I think a lot of like the life that I'm living now, I don't compare it so much to the life that she had to go through. But like, when you look at it, you're like, no, they did it, so can I. Like, I can accept this responsibility, like, to succeed. Does that make any sense?
It does make sense. Again, I just always looked at the glass half full. I guess like I always looked at it like as I'm privileged enough, you know, like I didn't understand privilege. Like I didn't understand how underprivileged I was. I was like so unaware of how underprivileged I was until I was like in AP history, 11th grade. And my AP history teacher made us do the privilege walk. And the privilege walk where like your whole class starts off in a line. And it's like, take a step forward if your parents are married. Take a step forward if you were born in this country.
She made you guys do that?
Yes.
Wait, what kind of questions did she ask? I'm curious.
It's like crazy questions that you're like, I didn't even take a step forward if you don't have to do chores when you get home. And I was like, who the freak does not have to do chores? The amount of kids that didn't have to do chores just because they were in AP classes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And to me, it was like an expectation. Like, yes, you do. Yeah. You have to be good at school. You have to take honors classes. And you have to come home and wash the dishes, do your laundry, do your bed. Like, it was an expectation. Yeah. I wasn't aware that so many kids did not have to do any of that, you know? So I remember, like, standing in the line and, like, being, like, the second to last person in the line.
Wow.
Everybody else was in front of me. And I think like that's the first time ever that I was always aware that I was an immigrant, you know, but that was the first time ever that I was like aware of how underprivileged I was. Because everyone would always talk about like being underprivileged and blah, blah, blah. And I always looked at the cup half full because again, being in this country is already like a huge privilege than had I grown up in Mexico, you know? So that was just crazy. I think that's the first time ever like I understood like how underprivileged I was. Even though I grew up poor, even though, you know, I was in an immigrant household, even though my whole life I had to share a room.
I never looked at the glass half empty. I always looked at it half full. Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with like how my parents, you know, brought us up. You know, they never taught us to look at like, oh, like to pity ourselves.
Victims.
Yeah, they never taught us to look like at victims. Like, oh, you want something, then you have to work for it.
Yeah.
You gotta make it happen yourself. You know.
Okay, let's go into like now you're in high school and like you have this mindset of like looking at things like the glass half full. You're in high school, you're getting ready to graduate. Like, what is your plan after high school? Like, did you always think that you were gonna be an insurance agent, like
of course
owner, or like how did that happen?
Of course not. No. So I was set on being an engineer, and I think I was set on being an engineer because like growing up, I was always with my dad fixing things, you know, and I enjoyed it. I knew that when my dad was my age at the time, he wanted to be an engineer. So I was like, oh, like I really enjoy doing all this with my dad. Like I'm probably gonna enjoy being an engineer, and I'm a natural problem solver, you know, like. And I knew I didn't want to like. I knew I was going to school to make money, like, you know, like. When you're an immigrant, you don't have like the option to be like an esthetician or anything like that because like you have to like bring in the money because your parents made all these sacrifices. So you don't have like, you can't just get like a liberal arts degree because like no, you have to make money.
Does it make money though?
Pressure in the back of your head.
Of course, yeah. Like I never had that freedom of like oh yeah, do whatever you want. Even though my mom always told us like you could do whatever you want, you know. Like I knew. So my goal was to be an engineer. And that's actually what I was going to school for. I was going to school to be an engineer. And right before I started college, my aunt was like, hey, you should go apply where I have insurance. Like they're hiring for like a part-time person. And at the time, like being a part-time college student, having an office job, that was like it, you know, because everybody else is out here working restaurant jobs or like weekend jobs. Yeah, and like I would have Sundays off, you know, and that was like
Bougie.
bougie, you know, as a
Get to enjoy yourself.
yeah. So I went and I applied, and I got hired on the spot. And I think like even from my initial interview, my current business partner, I think he had already like known, you know, because I remember him asking me, do you ever see yourself doing anything else other than insurance? And I remember like being straight up, being like, if I'm gonna make as much money, I'm sorry, other than engineering, I remember being like, yeah, if I'm gonna make as much money, then yeah, I'm down to do whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And he was just like, okay, cool. Like, he never told me, like, oh, like, you should do this. But he was just like, okay, cool. But I think he already kind of, like, saw that potential in me.
I feel like he kind of planted a seed in you, like, okay, like, maybe this is something you should think about.
Yeah. And so, at the time, I didn't think much of it. I was just like, yeah, like, I'm down. You know, like, I'm not 100% set on this. I started going to college, and I was also working. I think like on average, I was like working like 20 hours a week, and then like going to school full time. One day, like I was like at work late, and it was just me and my business partner, and he sat me down, and I think I was only 19 years old.
That's crazy how young you were, and he was already like.
You saw the drive. Like,
I think it's because the maturity level.
Like I never called off. Like that was not an option. I went in when I was sick, you know, because I was privileged enough to be at this job. And then on top of that, I always met my goals. You know, I was like, if I'm gonna be sitting at this desk, I'm better be making money.
Yeah.
You know, like I better be making money. So I was only 19 years old, and he sat me down and he showed me the numbers. He showed me the numbers from his first year of opening an insurance agency. I think it was like a 5-year projection. And I remember at the time, my only goal was to make 6 figures. You know, I was just like, if I can make 6 figures, then like
I made it in life.
I made it in life. You know, like that's a lot of money. And he was talking about a lot more money than 6 figures, you know? And so I remember like sitting there, like looking at him and being like, I gotta ask my parents for permission. You know, like I can't just like
literally 19. What are you doing?
Like there's no way like he's offering me like a business partnership. Like I'm literally 19 years old. And he was just kind of, and there was like absolutely no pressure. He was just kind of like, just think about it. You know, like if this is something that you're into, like, and I remember him telling me like, if engineering is your passion, then go for it. And he was like, because insurance is not my passion, but that's why I play ultimate frisbee.
Oh,
you know, pretty much letting me know like your job doesn't have to be your passion.
Yeah.
And then that's the first time I realized like your job doesn't have to be your passion, because growing up in school they tell you like, oh, make sure you pick something that you really like because that has to be your passion.
Yeah.
And I remember I hated doing insurance at the time, because when I started working in insurance, I didn't even know I was selling insurance.
Wow.
I didn't even know what insurance was because I had never even had a car.
Yeah.
I think I bought my first car like a month after working in insurance. So that was a little bit crazy. And he showed me the projections, and I was like, well, I have to tell my parents. Like, I don't know, like I can't just decide this, you know? And I remember going home and like showing my parents like the spread and everything, and I remember my dad being like, I think this is a really good opportunity. And I was like very thrown back, because I was like, my whole life you guys have been telling me that I need to go to school, do well in school, and like get good grades and then get a good job, you know? So I remember being like so thrown, and both of them were like, whatever you decide, like we 100% trust you, and we 100% will have your back, whether you want to finish school or whether you want to pursue opening up your own business. I was 19 years old, and I was like, wow, like, I could just make these decisions, you know, like, I could just make these decisions. And it's weird because my whole life I had been making those decisions.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh, like, dang, like, I have 100% free will. And it's funny because now that I think about it, I don't think my parents would like let Frankie like have like this much freedom, you know, like.
I mean, because we grew up more mature.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I don't
Even
know.
though you were 19, your mindset was already like grown, full grown.
adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why that person or your business partner saw that in you, because if you came in at 19 years old, sat down, 18. Or 18 years old, sat down, like went on your phone. I don't even know. Phones were a thing, right?
Yes. What the hell?
What the heck?
You know I'm like 3 years older than you, right?
You're almost 30.
I'm literally 2 years and 9 months older than you.
And you sat on your phone, chatted with the girls, you know, like, I don't think you would have been like, okay, I'm gonna show her this opportunity.
Yeah.
But because you came in, you're like, no, I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna get the highest numbers, you guys are all losers.
No, I didn't say anyone.
I feel like that was your energy, because she would come home and she would be like, I made the most sales today, I made the most insurance, and like, I'm on the top. And then she would tell me like the drama of the office, but I would be like, wow.
I think it helped a lot that I didn't like my manager. And like, I was only 18 years old, but she was 100% my top op. Like, she didn't like me either.
I feel like there was a reason behind that.
Manager.
Yeah.
Competition.
Maybe she did. She saw me as competition, and I wasn't even like, I was just going in trying to hit my numbers. And make some money. Yeah, because that's why I was at work. At the end of the day, that's why I was at work. So yeah, I wasn't really there to make any friends. I would go in, talk to my customers, get the job done, and then go home.
Yeah.
That's the first time I experienced somebody like not believing that there's enough room at the table.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's how you could call it,
Like,
because
yeah. I don't know what to call it.
Not enough room at the table.
Yeah, not enough room at the table, because my mom always has said that there's enough room at the table.
Yeah.
You know, like my mom, she started cleaning houses, and she was the first out of all her sisters to do it. And she's the one that showed them like that she was making money cleaning houses. And then because of her sisters started doing it. Yeah. And my mom was never like, oh, like there's not enough houses, you know? It was like,
oh, you can't do it. Like,
exactly.
only I can.
No, yeah.
So like my mom, I think, is like, even though she doesn't like the word feminist, and like she thinks like feminists are like people that like burn their bras, like she is the biggest feminist, you know? Yeah. And growing up with a mom that had that type of mindset that there's always room at the table, I think that was the first time ever like I experienced that type of shadiness, I guess, coming from another woman. Where I wasn't even looking to take her job.
Yeah.
I wasn't even interested in it. I didn't even get my insurance license until like right before I opened my business, because that's how uninterested I was in insurance. Yeah. I was just there to make money and like go home and just go out with my friends. I was literally an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So that was the first time ever. And then I got another job in the insurance field, and I had a mentor, and he was a minority, and he actually like was teaching me a lot about management, a lot about insurance, a lot about people skills. I was only there for a year, but I like absorbed so much from him. And I looked, and he was somebody that I still look up to this day, just because of how that he had that mindset that like there's room at the table for everybody, because everybody like has their like a special skill set that will come in handy. So yeah, I just remember thinking like I never want to be like this person, you know, like my first manager. I remember thinking like I never want to be like her.
Wait, so how long have you had your business for?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
And I actually accidentally opened it on like International Women's Day, March 8th.
Wow.
How crazy is
That is awesome. I feel like we should celebrate that day.
Yeah, I know.
You starting your business, we should do like a celebration every 10 years, you know?
Yeah, I know. I never had like a grand opening or anything.
I know. I feel like that's so crazy because I feel like my parents know like was such a big deal for you, but like I don't remember them like treating it as like such a big deal. Like they were like proud of you and all, but like they never were like, okay, let's throw a party, like let's celebrate. And I always like now looking back, I'm like, why didn't we like throw a party? Why didn't we like do something great like to celebrate this accomplishment? Like not just any but not like young adult just builds or opens up their own business, you know?
At 23.
I mean, it's so insane. Like,
I think it's funny you say that because like I remember when Christopher got his insurance license and his girlfriend at the time threw him like a whole ass
celebration.
And Sharon was like, why are we even here? Like, we don't even do this. Like, do you know how many times I've been on the honor roll and I don't get celebrated? Like,
I think it's crazy. I think it's so crazy because I don't know. Like, my parents are amazing, but I feel like they're just okay. That's expected,
right? Yeah, it's just always expected.
It's
like,
just expected. Like greatness is expected.
But no, but I think like I think that it goes back to like how they were raised, you know, like they weren't ever celebrated like that, so they don't know how to celebrate us. Because my mom always comes to me and she's like, I just feel so dumb, like I just feel so dumb that I don't know how to like make you feel better when you're down. I just feel so dumb that I don't know how to celebrate you guys like that. And I remember when I opened the business, my mom was just kind of like in shock that I just kind of like didn't ask them for any help, you know, like didn't ask them for any money because I had my own money, like I had my own savings. And my mom was just kind of like, what can we do for you, you know? And I was just like, nothing. Like, why do you think you have to do something for me? Like, I'm good, you know, like I got it. And she was just like, I don't know, like I just feel like I should be helping you. But I think it was just me, like I've just always been like super self-sufficient. And it was like, yeah, I just opened this business, but like I haven't made any money, so what are we celebrating?
I mean, but like still, like it's kind of like graduating. You celebrate the graduation, you know?
Yeah.
It's like now you worked so hard to open your business, but I mean,
That's interesting. I feel like my family is kind of like that, but I feel like my husband's family is the complete opposite. So like I struggle with that a little bit because his family like celebrates everything. They talk about everything. They're there to support everything, and then my family's like, "Oh, you're graduating soon?" Like they don't even know when. You know? Like low key. So it's like I don't know. I think
it's maybe like based on like how people grew up and how they learned how to like celebrate. It's like also something that is learned, I guess.
Yeah. I've been I think I was the same way, but then like my boyfriend at the time, when I opened the business, he took me out to like a really, really nice restaurant to like celebrate the fact that I opened the business. And I think he was the only person that ever
celebrated something for you.
Yeah. And so I think like that, like seeing that and like how good it felt, like that kind of made me be more like that, like, oh, like birthdays are special, like these little things are special.
Now you finally opened up your business. Like how was it like being so young, and like what were the challenges that you kind of experienced, like being young, not knowing much about, you know, owning a business, and like how did you navigate that?
I faked it till I made it. No, literally, I faked it till I made it. I had no idea.
I think Rihanna says that.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like, you just have to fake it till you make it, because I 100% had no idea what I was doing. I 100% had never hired anybody before. I had 100% had never been in a management position. you know? So I literally had to figure everything out as I went, you know? And I remember, like, I would get so scared to, like, tell my employees anything. And I remember the fact that they would just, like, show up. I would be like, wow, like, I can't believe somebody's showing up for me and, like, doing all these things for me. You know, obviously I was paying them, but it was just, like shocking to me. Like, oh, wow, like someone's working for me.
Like they're doing it. They're doing the things that
they're doing it, you know?
I did.
Yeah.
I remember when you worked for me for that little bit. Sharon was like, I feel bad because I haven't done anything all day. And I remember being like, wow, like Sharon does so much for me because she's there, you know? And she's like, I feel bad I haven't done anything all day. I think I'm just gonna clock out early, you know? It's like, what?
I definitely took advantage of being your sister. Because at first, you know, like there's not much to do as a new business, and you're still learning how to bring clients into the into the.
I was a client.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were. I remember we quoted you.
Yeah.
Or I quoted you.
Yeah. I think I was doing like all the hard work, and it's so funny because Sharon's like. She's so much like me because I brought her in. I didn't really train her because I didn't know how to train
This is
people.
how she trained me, bro. The first day I came in, keep in mind, like, this is my first, like, office job, I think.
Yeah.
Time.
No.
And,
Yeah.
and she was like, okay, you're gonna call this person and you're gonna ask them about whether they want an insurance or not. She's like dialing and I'm like, wait, is there a script? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna say? She's like, okay, here you go. Bam. I had to, like, make, like, whatever up that made sense. And she's like, okay, now you just have to repeat that. And she gave me a list of, like, people that I needed to call. And I was like, what the fuck?
I think, yeah, no, Sharon's like definitely like another version of me because, I couldn't do that with any of my other employees. You know, I literally had to type out a script for them.
Yeah.
Sharon actually made like my first trainer's manual because I didn't have a trainer's manual, and
I was like, I'm gonna create.
I still use it. Yeah, I still use it. Because like Sharon just kind of jumped in and she literally faked it till she made it. Like if she didn't know something, she would just make it up. And I remember like sitting there when I would sit there and like listen to her, because half the time I was really busy. You know, like any customers that I could take, I would take. And I remember like one time like I sat there and like I just listened to her and I was like, wow, like she's just making stuff up. But she would say it with like so much confidence that no one would question her.
Yeah, they'd be like, okay,
Yeah, that's the thing.
just sign here.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Wait, so what happened between 19 and 23? Because you said that he sat down with you and looked at the numbers at 19, but you started your first business at 23, so like, what happened during that time?
So I remember telling him like, hey, like I need to think about it. You know, like my goal is to go to school and be an engineer, and then I went home and I told my parents about it, and they were like, well, you know, like, yeah, you should think about it, because obviously at the time I didn't have the money that I needed.
Yeah.
And so like I've always been like a really good saver because that's just what my mom taught us, you know, to save. And then on top of that, like being a DACA recipient, I couldn't get loans, you know, like everything had to be paid out upfront cash. So like I knew that once I transferred to university, like that all had to come out of me, you know? So like I was already like saving money for that. And I remember like being 19 and all my friends being like, oh, let's go to the fair, and me being like, I literally can't. Like every single cent that I make like has to be, you know, put away. And my friends would like, they were real, like they would take me to the fair and like, you know, buy me like my wristband, and like we would go on fair rides. But everything would be very like low budget at the time.
You're basically a 20-something-year-old. Like you can't really go out. You can't spend money because you're making all these sacrifices. Like most 20-something-year-olds would be like, I'm buying 20 gym sets that are like 20 different colors. I'm gonna buy like 20 high heels. You know, like spend money on things that don't really matter. But you're like, no, like I can't do that. Like I have to save every paycheck.
Exactly. I didn't even like know how to spend money. you know, like I didn't even know how to spend money until one of my boyfriends was like, let's buy you gym sets because you literally have a hole in your leggings. And I was like, I can't afford it, you know, like, and he
I
like,
literally have the same problem, dude. Like,
and he like took me and like he bought me like leggings and like new shoes, and like it was just like something weird because it was like I wear these shoes until like they're worn out, you know, like I don't spend money on like nice shampoo. I literally only use Pantene, you know, and so like that was
nice shampoo though.
you know, like not supermarket shampoo. And then like he taught me how to like spend money and feel and enjoy it, because that's also like a skill set that you have to learn, you know, like
I was gonna like as you're now growing like your business, and it's like growing significantly in the like next 5 years after you started your business. How was it like managing now your money? Because like as an immigrant or as a child of immigrants, like you come from like not very rich family, you know, that, you know, typically they don't know how to handle like
it's hard.
Finances when you're making like so much money all at once, you know.
No, it's very hard and it's very stressful. And at the same time, like I am very aware that I am my parents' emergency fund. You know, like I am my parents' emergency fund, and like sometimes even my siblings' emergency fund, you know, like, and it's like I would never say no to them, but there are times where it's like, well, I have all these other things planned, and where I have to say no, and I feel like so guilty, like I don't know what is it called? Mom shame or parent shame? Mom guilt. I don't know what mom guilt feels like, but I feel that with my parents and my siblings whenever I have to tell them no. I definitely feel guilty. And that's like another thing, like where like as privileged people that like grew up with like their parents having their back 100%, they don't care to like tell their siblings no, you know? And I feel like very guilty when I have to say no, or like I have to put myself first. And I think that's also like a skill that I've had a hard time like developing because it's very hard for me to say no to my parents. It's very hard for me to say no to my siblings. It weighs heavy.
Yeah. How has it felt like, you know, like being in a different financial bracket? Like, is there any like tips that you want to share to the listeners of like how you handle your money, like how you handle your finances?
I think that even though I'm making, I wouldn't even say like big money. Like I think I'm making okay money. I definitely still try to live below my means as much as possible and save as much as I can.
I like that advice. I think everyone should live under their means and not overspend, especially in America where everyone just like there's a lot of overconsumption in the United States.
Not just that, but you have to always like look for investment opportunities.
Yes.
You know, and just have that in mind, because I already know like what my next investment's gonna be, and I already kind of have like in mind how much money I'm gonna need for it. So like I think like always just having that next goal, and sometimes you don't even have to have that goal, but just knowing that you have that safety net there for when the opportunity rises up. And I just feel like when you're always thinking like about like what's next, it just comes naturally. It just comes.
It's like you're literally
even if you don't know what it is, like it'll just come because you're just calling it.
You're putting that energy into the universe, and it's answering you. All right. So, just last question, really quick. Like, what advice would you give to women, especially daughters of immigrants, that feel behind or unsure of about their future, like what they want to do?
I know this is kind of hard, but just pick something and go dive fully into it. You know, like I feel like a lot of people get too scared to do anything where they just reason they don't do anything at all. So like just pick something, get really good at it. And if you absolutely hate it, then switch. Yeah. But like I said, like I feel like no little kid in kindergarten is like, I want to be an insurance agent when I grow up. You know, it just kind of happened, and it was like, okay, the opportunity's here. I'm gonna get as good as I can at this while I'm doing it. Because again, insurance was not my plan at all, but I got as good as I could because I was already there doing it. And so then the opportunity just like kind of flowed to me, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like people get too stuck on like, oh, like what am I going to do for the rest of my life? And it really doesn't have to be that serious.
It's not that deep. Get good and make
Take
money.
something, get good at it, and make money. Like, yeah.
All right, cool. So now we're just gonna do a quick game that we do in our podcast called Next Chapter Rules. It's really fun, simple. We're basically gonna read behaviors, thoughts, habits people already do, and basically rule it or lose it into the next chapter of our lives.
Okay.
All right. So you wanna start us off, Joyce?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so saying I'll start on Monday every single week. Is that something you would
Lose it.
lose it? Okay. And why do you
Lose
say
it.
why do you
We
say
are
lose
not procrastinating, right, Pamela?
I don't know about not
Pamela,
procrastinating. No, not. I don't know about like not procrastinating, but it's just kind of like when something needs to get done, just get it done. You know, like I don't know. I think like I hate doing things on Monday because like.
But what about the perfectionist thing?
Exactly. Like I procrastinate.
So you're like, I need to lose this.
So is that something you're actually living by? Like you're losing?
Wait until Monday?
Yeah.
No.
Like not waiting till Monday. Like
I think we're exposing Pamela.
like like how you were saying that like a lot of those things you want to do it to the best of your ability. So like I know that for sure for me, I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna wait till Monday because then I can do it with my best ability. So like, is that something that you're living by or something that you're really not?
That's not something I live by. I think like as soon as like I'm like okay, like I gotta do it right now, then I just get up and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm guilty of waiting for the perfect time, but I feel like in our next chapter, we should definitely lose it. Like, I don't want to continue procrastinating and like, I'll study next week, I'll study next month, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
All right, lose it.
lose it.
Cool.
Oh, next. Overspending or impulse buying.
Lose it.
Lose it. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think we really have to talk about that one. It's like, stop
These ones are
overspending.
easy. Splitting bills exactly 50-50 in relationships.
Lose it.
Splitting bills, 50-50 in relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like if you're going to get into a relationship, you should like think about the both of you and what's best for both of you in terms of finances, right?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like once you're in a relationship, well, I don't think a relationship like if it's like boyfriend girlfriend, no. Like I think like marriage, like then
Changes everything.
yeah. Like or you know, in a serious relationship, you know, like then that's when you're like looking out for the best for the both of you. But like when you're just dating, like I do feel like the guy has to like show up a little
The
bit
guy
more.
has to like make the effort to pay for the date.
Yeah.
It's like if not, like, they probably shouldn't be dating.
Yeah, they shouldn't be dating. Yeah, like I feel like when you're dating, like the guy definitely does have to like show off and like you know, because I feel like at the end of the day, like once you're married, like I feel like it's always the woman like doing the most. Like even if we don't want to, like that's just how it comes out.
I feel like we're like more responsible in terms of like money. Well, I guess it depends on like the guy. But I feel like women are more like, okay, we're gonna save here, we're gonna distribute the money here, and like more responsible, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, in my relationship, it's the man. Like, Victor's way more like, we budget, we invest here, we save here, and I let him do that. Like, in the beginning of the relationship, I was more like, still looking, but he's got it, okay, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I think it does depend on the person.
Yeah, it does
It
depend.
definitely does depend.
But for sure, like, marriage, serious relationship, like, you're thinking more with one head.
Yeah.
So it's like, 50-50 doesn't work.
50-50 is not it. Okay. Next. Waiting until the last minute because you work better under pressure. I think that's the same, a little similar to the first one. It's like, you shouldn't wait until the last minute to get things done, I guess.
So lose it.
Lose it. Next.
Alright, so saying no without an explanation.
I think rule it for like my next chapter, because I catch myself over explaining to people like, oh no, I don't want to go here because this and that. Like, no, I don't want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Nice.
What do you think, Joyce?
Yeah, really. I think it's good. I need to work on it for sure.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Being available 24/7.
Lose it.
Lose it.
Yeah, lose it.
I think it just depends on like who you want to be available for. Because like I'll be available 24/7 for people that I care about, my friends, family. But like not everyone has access to my time.
100%. Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll finish up with like one of the things that we do is like we share a page of our journal and kind of like, I don't know, like reflect on like something that maybe we're working on in this period of our life, things like that. So, but I think for you, like, do you want to share a page in your journal if you have one, or do you want to kind of share like what you would write if you had a journal in this period of your life?
In this period of my life?
Yeah.
I don't have a journal. Hold on.
You can think about it. No pressure.
Okay, honestly, I'll do a page in my journal that I wrote this week. Don't laugh. Okay. This past weekend was definitely needed. I feel like it resetted my energy and it grounded me. We don't really realize it, but social media and technology has taken over our lives, and now we can't live without our phones. People literally have to pay for a campsite to disconnect from all the noise. I feel I will definitely go camping more often, so I'm glad I married an Eagle Scout. LOL. It's funny how comfortable we get that we get annoyed when we don't have comfy beds and an AC that controls the temperature. I think humans need to be uncomfortable to act like humans. I can always tell when someone is way too comfortable. They are so boring. Anyway, it was fun fighting with my sister and annoying my little brother and watching my husband attempt to catch a fish.
Attempt indeed.
That was my page.
He really wanted us to. Yeah.
We were like in the cold while he was like attempting to catch a fish because he really wanted to eat or like cook a fish.
Yeah.
Wow. Did he catch it?
He did not.
That was really good.
Yeah.
What is it? Humans?
Humans really are so used to being comfortable that is that what it is, that they're annoying when they're uncomfortable?
Something like that.
That they're annoyed when they're uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel like humans just like are right now at a point where we're at, like we're just so comfortable. Everything has to comfort us. And like when it gets to us being uncomfortable, like we get annoyed, we get frustrated, we don't know how to like, act, so just kind of something I thought about while camping. Joyce, you want to share before Pamela shares?
Right.
It's funny how I call her Pamela, like no one else calls her that.
So I look right there. I was like, wait.
You're like, wait, I thought
Pamela is my middle name.
we were interviewing Claudia.
I guess like a little reflection would be like how that trend is going on Instagram. It's like pick a lifestyle, and it's like some like this person like doing like Pilates and then partying and then like going
Clubbing, like being at the beach.
yeah and like doing everything. But I feel like that is what your 20s are about, especially if you don't have any kids, like enjoying every single moment.
Yeah.
And like being, I feel like now like the healthy lifestyle trend is like trending, and like everyone like going to the gym.
Oh, I'm too cool to like go clubbing. I'm too cool to go out with my friends. Like,
But literally, this is the age where you are supposed to be going clubbing, and like just because you're going clubbing doesn't mean that you can't wake up and like go to the gym and like or like you can't enjoy like a nice pottery class, or like you can't go to the go to church and like, you know, praise God. So I think it's funny because it's like, no, you're not, you shouldn't pick a lifestyle. Like, enjoy it all because this is the time to like try it all.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like your 20s is a time to explore what you like, what you don't like. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like you camping this weekend, like, did it determine whether you hate camping or like camping?
I think like that's still like a unknown. I feel like anytime you hang out with your siblings, like you're reminded of your childhood, you know, like so that's always like a good feeling. But I definitely hate how dirty camping is. Like I think like the whole time I was like, wash your hands and like that's dirty, don't use it. And then I think you were just like, oh, we're camping, like this is what it's supposed to be like. Yeah. So I don't know yet, but I definitely enjoyed the family time and the family aspect of it. But yeah, I think that's just what your 20s are, like trying everything. And like I think, yeah, we're so stuck in like this like culture of like, okay, like now we're like more healthy and like clubbing is frowned upon. But I feel like if you're having a good time, why does it matter?
Yeah, I agree for sure. You ready, Joyce?
Yeah, I'm ready, Sharon. Okay, so just to go over a little bit, it's kind of like what you're saying, like it's not gonna look perfect all the time, like your life, you know, like it's not gonna be organized all the time, like it could be messy, that's fine. Basically, like I'm learning that discomfort is part of the becoming of the person I want to be. So there's a lot of late nights, there's a lot of frustration. I feel like my life is being pulled in different directions all the time, and it can feel really messy and unorganized. But it doesn't mean that I'm failing. So I'm just learning and making sure that I'm still taking those steps forward. And like I saw a meme this week that was like something about like the only way out is through, and like it's just like a bunch of, you know, doing everything you have to do in your daily life.
Yeah.
And like I think that's like so relatable.
No, 100%. Because you have to enjoy it too. Like you have to enjoy the process. That's a part of the whole thing. You know, like you have to enjoy the process, because if you don't, then you know what's the point. After, like, if you're so focused on your goals, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, oh, like, wow, I missed that. You know, like I think college was like the busiest time of my life because I was like going to school full time. I had a full-time job, but honestly it was also the best time of my life because every weekend I was with my friends doing some shenanigans, you know? And so like I remember while I was going through it, like thinking like, wow, this is really hard. I think it was like a really hard, it's a really hard age, 18, 19, because like people expect you to have your whole life figured out and you have like all that pressure. But at the same time, it's like such a free age where like you can make mistakes and you can be with your friends every weekend, and you know, and like
I feel like you're more present in life at that time.
Yeah.
Versus like when you get older, you start like overthinking a lot of things. Like, oh, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Like,
you forget to have fun, and it's a process because one day you're gonna like look back and you're gonna have kids and you're gonna be like, I remember when I was 25 years old and I was able to stay up late until like 1 a.m. doing shenanigans.
Yeah, literally.
1 in the morning editing a reel.
Yeah, because like that's a privilege too. You know, like that's what I'm talking about. Like you have to look at the glass half full.
Most people are up 1 in the morning feeding their baby. Pamela, thanks for joining us in our being the first guest in our podcast. It was really fun, and I guess this was another draft of us and building our experiencing life in our 20s.
See you guys next Wednesday.
Bye.